my lovelies, welcome to Erica's Magical Projects. I'm looking back at February and all the magical projects that I did over the last month. Now I'm making these videos not because they're tutorials and not because I want you to believe in any magic or to do any of the projects, but simply because it's quite fun, isn't it? I'd love to hear what you're up to, so please feel free to comment down below. I'd really like to hear from you, and don't forget to share the videos because there's only a few of you watching out there and I'd love to grow a little bit more of an audience. The first project that I did was to celebrate Imbolc, and I painted the first segment of my Wheel of the Year painting. Here it is. I'm really pleased with it. I'm hoping that the next segment will be a little bit better painted. I'm going to try and eventually improve all my skills so it'll get better. And then I made a rather silly celebratory item which I ran around some fields with at Dartmoor. That was lots of fun. Welcoming in the spring. Hail the spring! All hail spring! That was rather a successful way to bring the spring in and to get crafting. I'm going to be rating my projects using tarot cards because it gives me a much bigger range of human expressions and emotions to explain how I feel about my projects than just 5 stars. It was a rather exciting way to herald in the spring, and it really made me feel set up for the rest of the year, like giving myself a bit of a blessing, a little bit of a boost at the start of the year. So the card I'm going to give my Imbolc project is the Star. The star is pouring a blessing onto the land and the water, and that's how I felt that these projects have gone, starting me really well up for the year full of crafts, a year full of magical work. The second project I did was to spin some yarn, which is my absolute favourite thing to do in the whole world, and I've managed to spin quite an armful of yarn. Look at all this lovely stuff. I didn't really do very much spinning at all, but I still ended up with all of this at the end of the month. I'm really pleased I managed to spin on my Blueface Leicester because this is going to be for my future project jumper. When I'm spinning, I feel really complete, really whole, really at one with myself, something that I should have been doing my whole life, something I've been born to do. And because of that, I'm going to give this project the World. The World is the 22nd card in the Major Arcana and signifies the completion of the Fool's journey that started at the start of the pack. We get the World when we are finally on the right path, we're on the right track to finding the true thing that you should be doing, to discovering your true will. And I believe that my true will is to spin and to bring it to the world and to bring crafting and the joy of crafting to you. My third project was to make some bunting. I actually made quite a lot of bunting. All of these are going onto my Etsy shop to sell. I managed to make some for my friend for her birthday, and I've made some for myself. I get to keep these ones. These are all the kind of ones with mistakes in and colour tests. So altogether I made 6 strings of bunting, and that's very successful. I'm sure I wouldn't have finished any of those if I hadn't have been on like Bunting February. So I'm going to give my bunting project the 4 of Wands. The 4 of Wands talks about holidays, of festivals, of people getting together, of having joyous celebrations, birthdays, christenings, weddings, family get-together, the kind of thing that you decorate your house for. And that's what the bunting has made me feel. Like when you get together, when you get to do something exciting, you put the bunting up and it will always represent something joyous is about to happen, something wonderful is going on. Hooray! Looking ahead to March, I'm going to be making another original pattern, my flower bunting, with my first ever pattern that I put on Ravelry. So I'm going to attempt to make some flower garlands. I followed somebody else's pattern to make this, but isn't this lovely? While I was making it, I thought, ooh, I would really like something in my hair, something that would go in plaits, something that I could sell to girls at a festival, something at a nice cheap price point for kids. They love to spend their pocket money on homemade things. So I thought I might experiment with that and see what I could come up with, and I'm going to be doing that next week, so join me for that. The next project I'm going to be doing for this month is my Blueface Leicester jumper. Now this is one of those projects that I'm sure all of you have got hiding in your cupboards. We call them WIPs, Works in Progress. I have had this for 5 years. I have been trying to make this handspun jumper. So far I've got this far. So now I've spun up all the rest of my Blueface Leicester fluff, I'm going to turn it into the rest of this jumper. I have never made a jumper out of hand spun yarn before, and I've got no idea if it's going to work or not, but so far it feels quite nice. Anyway, let's see if I can manage that. If I will, I'll be quite pleased with myself, because that's been knocking around for quite a long time, I can tell you. And the next project I'll be doing is celebrating Ostara, which is the spring equinox. Ostara is the original pagan festival that became Easter. I'll be out and about celebrating that and looking for symbols and signs and creatures that I can put onto my Wheel of the Year to complete my little segment for Ostara. So looking ahead at these projects, I'm going to have lots of things that I can take out and about with me and get out into the lovely spring sunshine that's surely going to turn up now, hopefully, because February's been very blustery. Thank you for joining me this week, and come along next week to see how I'm getting on making these flower garlands. And until then, remember, everything that you make is magical, because everything handmade is magical.